What's going on, family?
That's good. Jerome.
What's happening?
Chilling.
Chilling, chilling hard. I love the blue around you. It's very blue.
Yeah, it's my curtains.
Got you. Yeah, man. Man, just when I saw it come in, it made me want to do a little walk, do a little dance. Dance on like on the west side. It made me want to.
Creep.
I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to. You seen that one like years ago where he went across the whole stage where the dude he put up a I forget who it was, but it was one of them. I think it was with Ice Cube and
Oh,
somebody.
the West Side Connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
West Side Connection, and
The jump
he
scare from-
crip walked
Yeah.
the entire lane.
That shit used to crack me up when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you in your element. You in your element, brother. Man. How are you today, brother? First of all, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Morning.
I seen that Aya tree. I'd never seen one.
I've never seen one that big, low key. That thing looks wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend got it from Hawaii.
It came from Hawaii.
Yeah. They grow like a bunch of that there, different communities.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
So when you saw one, you said you've never saw one that big.
nah. I didn't like. Yeah, I've seen it like online, but not like in person that big. It's like it looks like a braid, and then like inside of it, like the midsection looks like a brain. It's kind of wild.
Whoa. Whoa. So, I mean, when you see this stuff in nature, I mean, you said he brought it from Hawaii. When you're witnessing that, when you're looking at that, what's going on in your mind when you see that? Like, what does the feeling that it gives you? You know?
It kind of makes me like think of the experience being on it, and it's just like it's kind of it's pretty magical plant. It's kind of insane that exists. Yeah, it's a beautiful plant. It looks like a human braid, and then inside looks like a brain.
Hmm.
So it's like this head.
And, and when you said it gives you the experience or it gives you the memory of being on it, I don't know if we ever got into it or if we ever had a conversation about when the first time it was that you sat with it. When
I
was the first time?
I had I don't think I've had when the last time I seen you. The first time I tried it was in November. So
Okay.
I think the last time I seen you was I don't remember. Was it at the Elitum thing? So that
Yeah,
was like
the last time we saw each other was in Jenny's garden.
yeah,
Jenny's garden
first,
with Ellie Tom,
yeah,
yeah. Before he went back to
yeah.
Africa.
Then for her birthday as well.
Hmm.
You so I guess that was like what October or something.
Right. So you did it after that in November.
Yeah, and then I've done it again this past weekend. Yeah.
Wow. So can you first talk about like what was it in November? What inspired you to sit with it? What inspired you to get with it? You know, what brought you along on that journey?
So I was interested in doing combo. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, the
The,
in the
the
bath
frog.
where you start
Yeah,
purging,
yeah.
purging.
So I was
Hmm.
like interested in doing that because I had like in my mind I was like I wonder if it would be easier to do like an extended pranic fast, dry fast
Hmm.
if I first. And it actually kind of low key was the case. Like I felt better than I ever felt like on the later days, like 6, 7 days or whatever.
Hmm.
And so when I went to do that, a friend plugged me in with a shaman. So yeah, I went to do that and I was filming it on my phone. And I guess she figured out that I do video work. And so she asked me to like shoot a video for her, like a promo video for services
Hmm.
to sit with ayahuasca. Because at that point in time, I was kind of over plant medicine, to be honest. I was just like, I've taken shrooms, I've done all this stuff. So I was like really, you know, meditation and like being sober is kind of like the way. So I wasn't like really trying to do ayahuasca like that, to be honest. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take the opportunity because like, you know, it's exchange of favors, it's life experience, it's like whatever, do it.
Mhm.
So I ended up doing it, and yeah, it was a very magical experience. It's really cool to like, because I've done other hallucinogens and I feel like they're all magical experiences, but ayahuasca is a little bit more so. And like you feel like a connectivity to whatever spirit from that plant, like really strong. It's almost like someone invites you into their house and like watching you the whole time.
Wait,
It's
wait,
kind of
say that again?
like someone inviting you into their house and like watching you the entire time. Like that's kind of like the feeling I felt from it. Like it was very like prominent. Um,
You mean like with the shaman watching you?
that too, but no, like a physical spirit watching you. Like it's kind of insane.
Like an actual spirit invited you into their domain and they were just watching you.
Yes, that's how it felt. And even when I did it this past weekend, it still feels like that. And then you could kind of like, you know, see spirits and stuff like that. It's kind of gnarly actually. Like at first it was like creepy for the first like maybe like 30 minutes the first time I did it, but then I got used to it and now it's like whatever's life. But yeah, and then different people having like because I guess people go there with a lot of deep issues, which I wasn't prepared for. Like in my mind, I've only taken hallucinogens by myself
Mhm.
or like with a small group of friends. And I feel like I've done most of like my healing and shadow work like with Vipassana and just like on my own over the years. So I completely forgot that there was gonna be like other people there like suffering with issues,
Mm.
and it was quite the scene. It's pretty much like multiple exorcisms going on for hours.
How, how did that impact or like change the experience?
um, it was very like I guess at first like kind of traumatic, and then like realizing that like so many people have like issues, you know, like that they're dealing with,
Mhm.
and and the medicine was so helpful in like making these people heal that um I guess for me it was kind of eye-opening that like, oh wow, like there's some real healing that could come out of these medicines, even though I'd known that, but like I never like I've never seen some shit where people are like, oh wow. I was like, holy shit. So it's like I don't know, I thought it was pretty badass. And like the whole I didn't really understand. I guess I like seen shaman work, but I never really like seen it. So like I kind of like was like, oh, they're like spiritual surgeons in a way, you know, like, and I thought that shit was just pretty like really cool, to be honest. Like I thought it was really cool. Um and yeah, I was seeing different, you know, spirits, and yeah, people did a lot of the healing.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like the purging of, darkness or whatever elements that were no longer in harmony that needed to escape or needed to get out of the vessel. When you talk about exorcisms, when you talk about, people with different things that they're going through and that they come to this place to be able to heal from these traumatic things, did you notice a very noticeable difference in these people after their process?
yeah, it's like night and day. Like they're usually more open, like they're less shy at the end of it. Everyone comes closer together. You know, during their experiences, they'll like get transported to like the times they're like being traumatized and like speaking like children's voices and like stuff like that. Um, it seems to be like I don't know, like for me, like I felt like it was probably one of the most potent healing things I've seen other than Vipassana. And Vipassana seems more like inward work, and I feel like this is more like it opens you up more, if that makes sense, to like socialize and be closer to other humans. Whereas Vipassana can do that, but like it could also not do that, you know, because isolation the whole time. So like
Okay.
it didn't really make me open to more people. I never really had that problem anyway, but like still like I'm still kind of shy. Like if I get in a group of like a lot of people, I still don't like, you know. But I feel like ayahuasca, like by the end of it, you're like super close to everyone, and I see that being really good for that. And yeah, I'm like a big fan now. I wasn't aware as of how powerful it could a hallucinogen could be, or entheogen.
And it sounds like it almost forces you open, like you really don't have a choice.
Um, it's hard to explain what other people. It seems like maybe that's the case. For me, it's like I don't know if what is my tolerance or what the situation is, but it doesn't seem, or maybe I've done most of my shadow work already. It just doesn't seem to like. It doesn't seem to affect me on that deep of a level. Maybe I just have to take more of it and longer. I don't know. But what it did do for me was like, I guess like it kind of like I felt a little called to like help people in that type of setting when I was on it. That's kind of like the messages I was getting. So ever since I've been like, whenever I'm called to go up there and help the shaman with the different ceremonies and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Mila was asking if you saw two of the elders, one or more entities. She's saying, did you see two of the elders? Do you know what she's talking about?
No, I saw a ghost spirit thing, and then the last time I did it, I saw another spirit thing, but that was with my eyes closed, so it was less like yeah, you see things with your eyes closed, but when you see things with your eyes open, it's kind of like more insane.
So it's,
Like wait,
it's
what?
so it's you're saying it's better to see it with your eyes closed than with your eyes open.
Because like I feel like when you see when your eyes closed is like more expected. You know what I'm saying? It's just like your eyes are closed, so you see things. But like if your eyes are open and you see like a figure standing there and like disappear, I feel like that's a little bit more like jarring. Um, and for me, less common. Um,
Hmm.
I don't. I see weird looking beings. I don't know what they are. They
Hmm.
feel nice for the most part.
And did it ever feel like a connection, like maybe one of your spirit guides or one of the ancestors or things that people talk about? Or did this feel like an entirely other being that you were communicating with?
The eyes closed visuals feels like it could be like motherly, spirit guidey. I'm not really too entirely sure, but it does feel loving. The open-eyed ones feel like just like spirits. I don't know. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, yeah. And you're saying it was completely different from psilocybin, even though they're both plant medicine, you're saying this is like on another level.
Yeah, this is way more. It's like way you're way more in it. Like it feels more like San Pedro cactus is similar with chuma. It's like another ethnogen that the natives use. That feels a little similar where it's like you're very much in it. So I mean, psilocybin you can be. It's just like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm still like in this realm with psilocybin and all the other ones, and this one feels like you're in like a different realm
Hmm.
to me. And I've never seen like people lose their shit on like that on psilocybin.
Mm. Unless like some of my friends who took what they call, the heroic dosage or like a hero dose or heroic dose.
Yeah.
I remember it was a girl, one of my friends, that she said that she did 5 grams, and she said she felt like she died. She felt like she died on five. And then she said, I will never ever do five or above ever again. But then there was a lady I talked to that she was doing 20, and she was just functioning in this reality, like, she had built herself up, I guess, like a muscle to
Yeah.
that level, like a mushroom muscle. I don't know what it is. What do you think it is when it comes to psychedelics, when it comes to these things? Is it something that if it doesn't break you, it shapes you?
I feel like so. Like I've done 5 grams, 14 grams. I don't think I've done more than 14 grams. Um, I also think like I think your brain has a lot to do with it. Like some people are just more like I don't know if it's like focus. It's just like even like back like when I used to drink a lot, like I would never like beat a motherfucker like like, you know, like I would get wasted, but I wouldn't be like the next dude that's like, you know, like doing crazy shit. Or at least like not like the, you know, like I would always be like level, like not be even like falling over myself or like, you know, like, so I don't know. I think like your brain has a lot to do with it. And I think when you're in these states, like you're more susceptible to like different entities like fucking with you.
Mm,
Like certain people are just able to like just like fall off to the abyss and like lose their shit, and some people are just able to like hold it together longer.
mm.
But yeah, the mushrooms, I've done like all of those doses, and never anything. It is different than ayahuasca. It's not completely the same, but I've never been like that. Like I'll totally meditate and like going through all the realms and stuff, but it's just like ayahuasca. Like I feel like I'm here, like I'm very much here,
Oh,
but it's like not here because like shit is different.
yeah, yeah. So you
Like
it's
audio,
uh, go ahead.
like yeah, your audio, like it's very like sensitive. Like everything sounds really loud, or like this last retreat, there was like candle lights that were like red, and like when I took the medicine, like they're blue now. You know, like stuff like this. It's just very like I don't know. It's like flipping a switch. It's very
It's like
interesting.
you flip the world upside down.
Yeah, it's like almost like Mortal Kombat when you go to Outer World. It's like that. It's like that.
Okay. Or kind of like have you seen a show called Stranger Things?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like that.
There
Like
was the upside down.
yeah, yeah. That's how I feel what ayahuasca is, pretty much.
Wow. So you're here, but you're not here.
Yeah, where shrooms feels like you're still here, and there's like you know you're tripping. You close your eyes. You're definitely tripping, but it still feels like you're here. Like to me.
Ayahuasca, you're not here.
Yeah, it feels like you're like in the other world. Like
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember there was a lady, actually one of my mentors, and she took ayahuasca and she was fasting and it blew her out the water. I mean, it took her to a place where, like you said, she communed with one of those spirits, and the spirit was kind of almost beckoning her, telling her like, hey, it's okay. You can stay here if you want. You don't have to go back. And she was like, what? No, no, I need to go back. And they were like, no, you can stay here. It's okay. Like just stay here. And she was like, no, no, I have to go back. And then she went back into her body. But, I've heard like sometimes people will take a long time to come back to their body.
yeah, there's a lot of trickery from my understanding with the different spirits you interact with, because they're not all like benevolent, benevolent, benevolent. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't, you know. I think it's very important to do these things with shamans, like for sure. Like, um, on my Bufo experience, like I did Bufo recently too, like 2 weeks ago, and that was like completely. It was kind of similar, but really different. Whereas like you go straight to source. At least that's what happened to me. I just went straight to like the pure creation of God, like the most blissful experience I've ever had in my life. But I still sensed that there was like a tether to like the shaman, like
Mm.
even through that crazy experience where and I'm in nothingness, I could still feel like, yo, there's like someone there. And then when she called me back, I immediately came back. And I definitely feel like it is important to do these things with a guide because shit gets crazy.
Yeah. And Andrea was recommending, because she's done it as well. Andrea, she was saying, brother, you need to go to the jungle to do it. I highly recommend it. She's saying the jungle.
Totally. I totally would. Um, yeah,
Wow.
I'm at this point, I'm doing it in ceremony while I'm helping. So I was like, I'm not really doing it for my experience like that. It's really just, help out the best
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people take it, and it does seem like I have like, I guess I don't know if it's a tolerance or whatever it is, but I'm able to function more. So I feel like since there's not a lot of people that are able to do that, or I haven't seen many others, so I feel like I should help because I'm able to, basically. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. And I like, it's interesting what you said as well, as Dean, about the mind. Like it's not always just the medicine, but it's actually the the individual mind, like our mind, that has an effect. Because Andrea says not only with the brain, but how clean you are. Do you feel like how clean you are also has an impact
You know,
influence?
I've been thinking about that. I've never done any of these medicines while I wasn't like juice fasting. I don't, and also like, yeah, I don't really know because this is my reality. So it's like, I don't know how it'd feel if I went to fucking Veggie Grill and then went to ayahuasca the next day. I don't know. That could be a possibility. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
I don't, yeah, I have no idea.
she
I,
said people who eat more are less sensitive. That's what she's saying. Like the more dense, the less sensitive.
yeah. So like maybe because I like fast often, I don't like get as nauseous as the other people, or but I still feel like I don't know. Like back when I used to take shrooms, I remember when I would fast and eat the shrooms, I would trip harder.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't, I'm sure it doesn't hurt the fact that you know, I every time I've gone over there for some whatever reason, I've been like on a juice fast.
Hmm.
I've never even taken any of the medicines she offered while I wasn't fasting. And usually it's like I'll go there off of like a 1 or 2 day dry fast already.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Bufo like, and I just wanted to get as deep clean as possible. So every time I would go there, I'd be dry fasting for 1 or 2 days.
right,
Dude,
right.
I'm a huge fan of. So I ended up did fasting for like 6 or 7 days, and I felt like the best I've ever felt compared to the other times. So like I'm a big fan. I've done it at this point like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you feel like it was the best you ever felt compared to the other ones? What was different?
I just feel like it just cleans your body like on a spiritual level and on like an actual physical level. Like even like going there after dry fasting for a couple of days, I'll still like vomit these little like looks like little mucus balls. And like I'm all about like mucusless and all this stuff. So it's like for that still to come out for me. And also like a couple of days after, like I feel like my skin is clearer and just like I just feel better. It's weird. It's hard to explain. And then I find out like she like treats people with different diseases and cancers and all this stuff from Bufo.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
kind of a believer. I'm a fan of the frog poison, and it leaves kind of like cool scars. It's kind of like tattoos. Because I don't have tattoos. I probably won't get any tattoos. So
Same, same. I don't have any. You know, I like seeing them. You know, I admire them, but I've just never had any. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think they look really cool on like white people or like or fair skinned people. They look even cooler. But I'm not a fan of. I will never get a tattoo for sure. So like getting scars is like the closest thing.
Wow. You know, I have a couple of things like just listening to what you're saying. First of all, when it comes to the realms, like we talk about you know, the spiritual realm and the astral realm and the other realms, and then some people talk about the parallel universes, almost like the multiverse, like Marvel, you know, like a multiverse of, you know, parallel realities that are kind of just on top of each other. So when you're doing this, when you're engaging with this medicine and you're communing with these spirits in these places that are here but not here, what does that kind of what does that teach you about the reality as we know it? Like, what has that kind of given you that level of awareness?
For sure. Like when a ceremony is over, this society realm feels like hella fake. Like it feels like a movie set, like for sure. Because it's like the other realms is like so infinite and there's like so much to explore that when you come back here, it's like, bro, like we're just in cage. This is a giant cage. This is like a giant movie set cage. It's like the Truman Show. This is literally the Truman Show. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
I remember when he walked up the steps, and it was like you know, they were doing like a close up, like action, lights, camera. You know, they were close up on his face, and then he realized that he was in like, you know, like a movie. You know, it was like the clouds weren't real, the space wasn't real, like the people and the place weren't. They were just extras, you know, in his film. So you're saying it felt like that?
yes. And Bufo as well. Like when I came back from Bufo, I was like, what is this plastic shit everywhere? It just like felt hella fake, and I was like, ah, that's right. So that's like a for sure thing. Um, yeah, it just felt like a infinite like thing that you could keep learning about.
Okay.
There was this as well as this like overwhelming, especially the first time when I was like just looking at everyone go through their journey, and like it just felt like yo, there is actually like an actual like battle between like the dark and good, and it's like the way it's fought, in my opinion, is more so like on each individual basically being unhappy or happy, and I felt like that was an actual battle to like have just humans just be miserable basically
Can
for whatever
can you
why.
that, can you go into that? You said the battle is us being happy or unhappy. Can you?
Yeah, like it felt like the battle was like for like on each person's soul, like whether or not they're gonna be like jaded and like basically like depressed or unhappy, or whether they're gonna like rise above it. And that's kind of what I was getting. Like that was like the battle that we're dealing with here on Earth.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's like a heaven or hell, or I guess it is kind of, it's like their own heaven or hell, but it seemed like there was a force fighting for us to be unhappy.
Whoa.
And like interesting.
And it's all individual, like an individual experience.
It seemed like the force was individually trying to make each person like unhappy, like in a
Hmm.
weird like that was like the real like battle between good and evils for each person's like own like well like each person's own like happiness, I guess, or emotional state. Seemed like, yeah, I was getting that there was like some sort of force like trying to keep people unhappy basically. It's kind of weird.
Wow. And so when you're coming back from this and you come back to the society, which now you feel like is just fake, because you've been in these other realms and it's like, what are we even doing these things? Or why are we even living this way? Why is it like this? How do you come back from that and maintain equilibrium or maintain equanimity? Like, how do you not fall into depression where some people they feel like, what's the point of it all? Like, it doesn't matter anyway.
I understand that like everything is for the experience. So there's like, even though this realm is like, the society that we built up is hella fake, like there's still things to be learned. Um, and like it's all part of the journey, like at the end of the day, like when this experience is over, we're gonna go back to that realm. So it's like, you know, like yeah, it's kind of like it is what it is. Like I feel like we're here just for the experience, so I like learning as much as possible. I'm here just to enjoy the ride. I don't get depressed about it because everything is temporary anyway. So it's like, one day is not going to be here. So enjoy it while you can. Right?
It's a powerful statement to make, and sometimes we can gloss over that statement and just like it sounds like, yeah, everything is temporary. We hear that, but it's another thing to feel that on a visceral level, to actually experience that everything is temporary. Like when the passage of time, when you're not in this reality, when you're in the other reality, what is the passage of time like when you commune with the
Oh,
ayahuasca?
it's nuts. Like this last weekend, we did like so much in 3 hours. I swear it felt like it was like 8 hours. And like literally we look at the clock, it was 12:30 and we started at like 9. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Like it literally felt like a half a day has gone past. And we're just like, chanting or hitting the drums and like, helping people like deal with their shit. And like, yeah, it was insane. And we look at the clock, it was 12:30. I was like, what? It's just so interesting that like we as humans could be living on that level like every day. Like I wonder like what type of humanity would come of that. So
And how would you live on that level without the assistance of plant medicine? Like, how would somebody just live in that level?
I think we can like once, we have all less distractions. Because even like, somewhere like Vipassana, time passes by like a snail. Like it's insane. I think like once we don't have all this like crazy structured and all this like, work 9 to 5 and all this stuff, I feel like we could do that. And like, because time is just a construct, it's not real, you know?
Right, right. Being an interdimensional traveler, I'm gonna start calling you that because you've been traveling. You're a traveler. When you Does it give you like a different level of like appreciation for life itself, even knowing that it's temporary? Like you say, we're just gonna go back into that oneness, or we're gonna go back into that place. Having been there and come back, the the fear or the concept that people have of the transition, passing away, death, dying, like that big fear, does it take that fear away from you?
Um, I, I guess I never really had a fear, or like if I did, like it's been a while, but the Bufo experience was so overwhelmingly positive that I would say like, I don't want to say welcoming, but it's kind of like, yo, if that's death, like that shit's pretty lit. Like there's really, it's probably an upgrade to this. Like in some aspects, I guess this is like you could do a lot of physical things in this realm, but just the feeling of just overall like just oneness and like love was kind of like, yeah, it doesn't, death is definitely not a bad thing for sure.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. That is perspective. That's huge. That's huge. So it allowed you to say it was like a welcoming embrace in a way. It was almost like
Dude, it was like God himself or whatever was hugging me with a warm blanket and just pure bliss, blue light, like amazing. Like it just felt so good, literally like a shooting star flying through space. Like it was amazing. It was like,
wow.
yeah, definitely the probably the most positive experience I've had on any like ethnogen by
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. So when you talk about the states of like heaven and hell, these concepts that we see in religion and scripture and all this, is it really just the state of the individual that is the heaven and hell on this plane?
Yeah, I feel like there's different states of being, and whatever our like radio tunes into is kind of where we end up. um so I feel like, if someone is dealing with a lot of like dark shit, it's possible that that's where they go, you know and it seems like that as well when someone is tripping, like when they're dealing with a lot of like negative emotions and like stuff. It seems like negative entities attach themselves to that shit. And but like when you're just like, yeah, it's kind of like you decide where you go, it seems like.
Mm, mm,
And it seems like people are suffering, so like, I feel like most people are probably going to hell. It's fucked up, but it seems like most of us are caught in a trauma loop.
mm. And it sounds like the suffering is in real time, though. It sounds like we're suffering here, you
Yeah,
know? So it's almost like it's not like a place that you're gonna go for all eternity, like you're gonna burn in hell or something, but you're burning right now,
yeah,
like in the mind.
you're burning right now, you're in hell right now basically. And
Okay.
then you can be, I guess, in a hereafter. But it's also, since like time doesn't exist, I feel like someone could be in hell and then maybe like, get out of it. Just,
Mm.
I don't see, yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. When you were talking about, brother, the mucus balls that were coming up, and you've done a lot of purging already, you've done a lot of detox already, you've done a lot of fasting already. So when you were still coming up with these mucus balls, what did that teach you about the body? Like our capacity to still hold on to certain things.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. Like, how long have we been poisoning our bodies? I feel like there's no ending to a detox. It's just like so far deep in our DNA that like I honestly feel like it'll take 100 years, even being, breatharian, juicetarian, doing all this stuff. It'll probably still take 100 years for our body to completely reverse,
Wow.
if not, who knows?
Somebody was telling me the other day, and you know, it's crazy just to hear you say that, like 100 years, you know. Somebody was telling me, you know, if you think about the small intestine, and you know, you like if you walk like 20 feet and then the large intestine and you walk another 5 feet, and it's like you look back behind you, like walk 25 feet and then turn around, that's your large and small intestine, you know?
Yeah.
Like how do we expect stuff to just come out in one day, you know, one day?
Yeah, I don't, my in my mind, bread never comes out. That's just there forever.
Yeah,
I
there was
mean,
a lady
yeah.
that, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, there was a
I think
lady,
I'm breaking.
she was like, I've been vegan for like, you know, I've been vegan for 8 years and I haven't had flesh for 10. And this stuff is still coming out. She was like, this stuff is from ages ago. I was having McDonald's back when I was, you know, like, you know, younger years. And she was like, this stuff is still coming out. It was blowing her mind.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy when I see like parents feed their kids this stuff. I'm like, wow. It's like, you might as well give your kid heroin.
I mean, the way it can become, the way that we can become strung out on these things, it sounds like a substance like heroin, you know. You talk about like somebody's tolerance can be such that they need a higher and larger dosage just to have the same effect, and just to counteract the side effects or the withdrawals. They don't want the withdrawals, you know. So like fentanyl is next, and then next is like, I remember I was listening to an interview with a girl, and she was on the street, and she looked like a, you know, like a regular girl, like she just came out of college, you know, and she was living out there, and she was taking fentanyl every day, and she had gotten to the point where she said she's overdosed over 30
Whew.
times, over 30 times, and she knows that this could be her last day. She said, I could, you know, she knows that her life could be gone at any time, but she said she doesn't care because the withdrawals are so painful, they're so bad. I never want to go through that again. Like I
Mm.
never want that again. I don't care, you know?
You know, I never really put myself in a position of a drug addict with withdrawals. That must be some shit. I forget that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, the food
when you
withdrawals were pretty bad. I guess like in the beginning
mhm.
years of doing this way, but it wasn't that bad. But it was like annoying. It was like, oh man, I want to eat a pizza. I never had meat withdrawals. That shit disgusted me. Once I saw those documentaries, I was like, oh, dude, I'm good. People, are you sure? You know, it's so delicious. I'm like,
It was documentary too.
oh, man. Yeah, those
So
documentaries are, and I still watch them. Like, I watched Dominion. I think we might have talked about this a little bit. I watched Dominion just to like, you know, I couldn't even finish it. It was too much.
I haven't seen it, man. I haven't seen
It's
it.
bad.
I haven't seen
It's like the worst horror movie you could watch. Like, I don't know why people are watching horror movies. Watch that. It's just fucking terrible. It's crazy. Yeah, it's too much.
Is that the one with the like they have the hidden cameras and they're showing all sorts of stuff?
Yeah, and they're like they go through. I think the first one is pork, or yeah. Then the second one is like cow, and then chicken. I don't even think I made it past chicken, dude. I think I was done after that, or maybe sheep. I don't know. It was just like it was too much yelling. It was too much murder, bro. It was like the other ones were like I feel like more documentary style. This one is just like literally just animals being like slit throats, slit blood, and there's like, and then humans are doing it like laughing and stuff. It's like, bro, this is disturbing. It's like, I don't know anyone could watch that and still eat meat. It's like insane to me. Like that's yeah.
That was, you know, what you just said. That's the same thing that I was posing to people that were around me. You know, I'm pretty much one of the only ones in my family doing what I'm doing. And, you know, everyone in my family, they all, you know, eat animals. They all just, you know, it's normal. We were raised like this. I was raised like that. So, you know, they definitely have not deviated. So when I watched it, even Earthlings, you know, I was like, I wish people could just watch it one time. But when you're saying Dominion, it sounds like you're saying it's even more graphic on the level that it's just showing you straight up reality. Like this is what's going on every single day. every hour on the hour, like animals are being slaughtered,
It's like
you know?
Earthlings Part Two. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix even narrates a part of it, like
Okay.
the Earthlings. It's pretty much like Earthlings Part Two, like
Okay.
a little worse.
And was that the thing that made you change when it came to your lifestyle, or was it something different? Because some people go from health reasons, some people do for the animals, and some people do it just for longevity, you know?
Yeah, for me it was like so I started cleaning my colon because I was into bodybuilding, and so when I did a colonic, when I ate meat again, it felt weird.
Mm.
I was like, something is like right, because I did like my first fast and everything, and it was really just for like, I guess at that point, like body image. I was like, I was getting like, I wasn't even older. I'm like 20 years old, but in my mind, I'm like 20 years old. I'm like, why does my stomach, like, why do I have like a little lump there? So in my mind, I'm like, am I gonna end up with like a gut like older people? You know, because I was 20, like not even knowing that I was like a baby. But like in my mind, I'm like, why is like my, I guess I still had like a flat stomach, but there was like a little bulge there, and I'm like into like bodybuilding and shit. So I'm like, why is that even there? Like, what is it? I'm doing crunches. Like, what the fuck is that? So when I did a colon cleanse, I was like, I realized it was all shit, and I was like, oh, what? I was like, and it was all this shit in the toilet. So I was like, what is that? Like, why is that there? Like, what the fuck is that? So like, yeah, when I ate meat again, and I remember eating rice and bread, I was like, this is probably why that stuff is there. And then I had a dog at that time, and I remember eating meat. So already my body's like, meat is probably not the reason why that bulge was there. And then when I got a dog, and I remember him looking at me eat meat, that shit completely fucked me up. It was like, it was like I was on like candid camera or some shit, like a, yeah, like a punked. I was like, what's going on here?
Wait, when your dog was looking at
It's just
you,
weird. It was like the weirdest thing. Like I will never forget that shit. He was like a little puppy, and I was like, bro, like I felt like I was eating him. Like it was weird.
oh,
And then like I remember right then and there, I pretty much stopped. And then like I started feeding him raw food, and then I really stopped. When I saw that nigga eating like chunks of raw meat, I was like, I'm done. This is insane. We're not obviously not supposed to eat meat. I never seen a baby eat a raw chicken head. Like, no one could tell me anything. Like, I'm good.
you know, the way you say that too, it's crazy because I have friends who will go to their family members' houses with their nieces and nephews who are just eating, you know, they're eating the chicken legs and they're eating all these things. And when they tell them what they're eating, the children, like, they realize they don't actually know what they're
Yeah.
eating. You know, they're like what? Like when they find out what it actually is and they link it, you know, they make the connection with what they're actually eating. A lot of them are like, whoa, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually. It's kind of fucked up. Like a bunch of these kids are just eating like chicken nuggets. They don't know it's a chicken, you know?
They have no idea.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the moment when you saw your dog looking at you. It was like a look, or it was just watching you eat it. You were like, this is weird. This is why.
Yeah, that was so weird. Oh man.